The episode begins with a bloodied Invincible after beating up Angstrom until his entire head busted wide open. Angstrom clung to life and used his powers to open a portal to the Technicians, a trio of super advanced physicians from an alternate dimension. They did a fantastic job patching and fixing him, given the poor condition in which he came in. Months later, Angstrom gathered like-minded Invincibles from alternate dimensions and used his powers to lead an attack on Earth. They quickly take out high-value targets all over the world. Meanwhile, Mark still feels guilty over what happened to Powerplex. But Eve claims he can finally get the help he needs in prison. When he didn't seem relieved, Eve canceled their dinner with her parents, worried he'd be too distracted to meet them. Mark noticed that Eve didn't want Mark to meet her parents, but she argued that it was not him. It was just that her parents were as problematic as she described them. Mark claims that despite how terrible they can be, they are still her parents. This coming from a man whose father tried to enslave the planet for the Empire. Suddenly, they receive a call of attacks across the world. Elsewhere, Rex helps Ray move to her new apartment. Ray notices Rex's smile and wonders if he is too happy to get rid of her. He argues that for the first time in his miserable life, he is genuinely happy, especially since their relationship is working well. Ray invites him back to her new bedroom, to which he agrees when they suddenly hear an explosion nearby. Rex changes into his outfit, and Ray does too. He reminds her that she has already quit the team, and reassures her he will call if he needs her. Invincible arrives at Peyton Penitentiary and discovers it's in a wreck with people fleeing from the scene. Trying to figure out what happened, he later finds Movinci Hawk emerging from the wreckage and realizes he is responsible. Invincible tries to get him to talk, but he struggles to defeat him as he shares the same powers. He briefly incapacitates him when superheroes Bolt and Kid Thor arrive on the scene and mistake him for being one of them. Powerplex escapes prison during the chaos and wants to join them as they gang up on Invincible when he discovers Movinci Hawk. He attacks him with his powers, but Movinci Hawk sends him flying with a powerful punch. With the help of the others, they defeat Movinci Hawk, and Invincible joins Eve to find out what's happening. Even the Global Defense Agency was hit hard by one of the Invincibles. Although they defeated him, they took several Reanimen before finally taking him down. Donald states that at least 18 more of these Invincibles are attacking the rest of the world, but claims that they seem to destroy everything they can with no discernible pattern or plan he could detect. Cecil worries that there's no way for them to predict what they will do next. Donald claims that one good piece of news they have is that these Invincibles don't seem as strong as theirs, and Cecil hopes they might have a chance then. Mark wonders what they should do, and Eve suggests they take them down one by one when they suddenly run into superheroes trying to overwhelm the lone Veil Invincible. Mark and Eve join them, but even together, the other heroes are taken down, unable to keep up with them. Just when they were about to finish him off, another one arrived, Omnivincible. While Mark struggles to handle Veil Invincible alone, Omnivincible chases after Eve. She tries to help, but Omnivincible overpowers her and knocks her to the ground, breaking her leg. When they try to gang up on Mark, who carries an injured Eve in his arms, the GDA's Reaniman jumps on them, to which Cecil asks Mark to bring Eve in to be treated. The Guardians of the Globe hideout was also hit hard by one of the Invincibles, No Gogglesable, who took down most of the Guardians. Immortal tries to keep up with him, but even he stands pale in comparison to No Gogglesable. Darkwing and Duplicate try to help, but they are simply outmatched. No Gogglesable eventually takes out Immortal, decapitating him when Darkwing sneaks up from behind and traps him in the Shadowverse. Meanwhile, Retro Invincible attacks the Teen Team base, knocking out Amanda and injuring Rex. Rudy tries to buy them time with his robots, but Retro Invincible finds Rudy and pulls him out. Bulletproof arrives and pushes Retro Invincible against the wall, but it barely has any effect. Rex stands his ground and launches an attack, asking Bulletproof to escape with the others. Despite his efforts, it was all in vain, and Retro Invincible grabs Rex, by the throat. When he is about to finish him off, Rex claims he will take him out with him, using his entire skeleton to create one massive explosion. The second day of the Invincible War ended with casualties from both sides. Angstrom suggests they proceed with the next phase and gather the remaining Invincibles to meet at Mark's home. Now that they have accomplished tarnishing Invincible's reputation, Angstrom claims it is time they are reunited to reveal that he's still alive after their last confrontation. The other Invincibles refuse to follow him, claiming that they helped him as planned and now demand he fulfill his promise to give them more dimensions to conquer. When one of the Invincibles threaten to kill him, another one suggests they just torture him, worried that they'd be stuck in the current dimension if he died. Angstrom already foresaw they'd turn on him, so he opened several portals and pushed them through them with his drones. Mark refuses to leave Eve's side, worried that the Invincibles will attack her to get to him. Cecil states that he needs to go out there, claiming that the world needs him. He even goes on to state that his brother Oliver and mother are out there, but Mark turns him down. Later, Cecil returns, claiming that he has found Angstrom, whom they believe is responsible for the attacks around the world. Mark charges at Angstrom, still in disbelief that he's still alive, claiming to have killed him in their last fight. Angstrom uses his spying drone orbs to attack Mark while trying to push him into one of his portals. Mark struggles to approach Angstrom, who has had thousands of his drones attack him from every direction. Mark makes his stand, and Angstrom sends thousands of drones to push him into the portal behind him. Mark withstands them and slowly approaches Angstrom, taking down the drones gradually. When Angstrom can no longer hold him down, Mark dashes towards and grabs him by the throat. As he is about to finish him off, Oliver arrives and cheers him to finish him once and for all. When Mark hesitates, Angstrom uses that brief hesitation to escape into a portal. Mark tries to pull him out, but ends up cutting his arm instead, and he escapes. Angstrom returns to the technicians and demands they fix his arm so he can bring the Invincibles back and finish what they started, but they refuse. He tries to escape, but the device on his head makes him stop, suggesting that this was a failsafe they built should Angstrom go back on his word. The technicians claim promises were made, and Angstrom doesn't plan on honoring his despite having delivered their part of the deal. The technicians declare that he works for them now. Mark and Oliver fly back to the city and find it in ruins, with most buildings leveled to the ground from all the fighting. Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York were struck hard during these attacks, while Paris, Moscow, London, Tokyo, New Delhi, Seoul, and Sydney have suffered similar damages. The death toll worldwide has climbed to a staggering hundreds of thousands, which others suspect would triple in the coming days or even weeks. The world is in shock, still unable to figure out what happened when several Invincibles attacked them. Mark returns to the GDA to check on Eve, claiming that all that time he spent torturing himself when he thought he killed Angstrom, he should have made sure that he did. Cecil walks in and claims that he can't blame himself for being a good person. Mark worries that Angstrom will return, which Cecil claims is why they need to rebuild, find new talents, and put teams back together to prepare for when he returns. He asked Mark's help in New York to assist with the rescue efforts. When they arrived, Mark wondered how they'd start rebuilding from all that when Powerplex suddenly attacked him the minute he arrived at the scene. Oliver punches him, but Mark tells him not to fight him and to wait it out until he uses up all his energy. As he is being taken away, Powerplex blames Mark for all the destruction, claiming him to be the cause of everything, to which the others start to doubt him. Mark returns to Eve and realizes that Powerplex is correct, and that everything happened because of him. Angstrom did it all to get back at him, but when he was waiting for a sign, parents arrived. The GDA brings Immortal, but before Donald can get a word in, he retires from the Guardians and proposes to duplicate, claiming to want to start a family together. Cecil meets with the remaining heroes and lays out the situation with them. That being said, Cecil wants Mark to lead the Guardians, but refuses, claiming he isn't fit to be one. Mark claims they can call on him to help, but otherwise, he will be helping out with the cleanup. Cecil tells him he can talk to him, but Mark refuses, claiming he is the last one he wants to talk to. Later, Mark faces reality while helping clean up and find bodies under the wreckage. Out of nowhere, Conquest arrives and is displeased that Earth is not ready for the arrival of the Viltrum Empire. He claims that Mark was given time and leeway, but still, he has not carried out his duty. Mark claims this isn't the best time for it and states that right now, he only wants to hit something hard to vent his frustration. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos and subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.